Hello, this is Colin. And on today's tea, I'm trying out something new for me. Um, I don't often drink oolong teas. They're slightly more expensive than your average tea. But I was out Monday and I picked up a couple of examples to try out. Now, this one in this cup is called Iron Goddess of Mercy Oolong Tea. Well, I had to pick it up just for the name alone. So the story goes, there's a couple of stories. Often are legends surrounding teas, particularly ancient ones of China. And the Iron Goddess of Mercy refers to Mercy Guanyin, who is the Bodhisattva or Goddess of Mercy in the Chinese pantheon. Now, the story goes, there was an iron statue of Guanyin somewhere in Anzi province, well, in Fujian province, Anzi in Fujian province. And there was a poor farmer who was tilling his fields near a small temple with an iron statue of the goddess, which was sorely neglected. It had been, pretty much left on its own, and he, being a poor man, couldn't do much to repair the damage of the weather had done to the statue and to the temple. So he did what he could. He would go, regularly and burn incense and sweep up the dead leaves and tidy up and do what he could for the goddess statue. And then one night he had a dream where the goddess appeared to him and told him of a great treasure that was buried behind her statue, behind the temple. So the next day, of course, the man, Wei, went and dug up the treasure, and he shared it with his neighbors, being a generous sort. So he dug up all the treasures, and then he found one shoot of tea, a tea plant, just one shoot. So he dug that up and took it to his garden and planted it, and from that shoot came the tea. And of course, the tea, as soon as the tea was cultivated, he shared it with his neighbors, and the tea became very popular. So the area became wealthy, and the temple was repaired, and everybody was happy. So that's one story behind this tea. The other one is that a scholar named Wang found the tea plant under Guanyin Rock, and so the emperor called it Guanyin tea, which is not such a good story. So, but the tea itself, oolong it's quite hot. Oolong is one of the most labor-intensive and difficult teas to make because you have to stop it. You see, it's in transition from being a green tea to a black tea. And at some point, you have to choose when to stop the fermentation process. Otherwise, it becomes a black tea. So the traditional process for producing oolong tea includes plucking, withering in the sun, cooling, tossing the leaves, withering, which is where you get which is where you get the fermentation or the oxidization. And then you have to decide when to stop it, and that is the fixation. Yeah, fixation. So you heat the tea leaves in order to stop it from fermenting. Some light oolongs will stop between 5 and 40% fermentation. Heavier oolongs, between 60 and 70% fermentation. And a black tea, of course, is 100% fermentation. After the fix, you roll it and you dry it. Some oolongs go through an additional process of roasting or scenting. But here it is, and I'm trying it for the first time, and I notice it's, as Vicky at the Granville Island Tea said, it's like a strong green tea. It doesn't really taste much to me like a black tea. It does taste like a strong green tea. I noticed when I first smelled it, it smelled quite grassy. But on the whole, I think it's quite a nice, refreshing cup, which I'm told will re-steep successfully a number of times because it's very tightly rolled, curled up in on itself. So when you add the hot water, it kind of expands. So so far it seems like a fine tea. Like I say, um, stronger than your average green, not as much as a black. So to the Iron Goddess of Mercy, cheers.